Ciao a tutti, this is Marcello from Vito Italy. If you remember, in one of our last videos, I told you a story about the Mille Miglia, the car race across Italy, from Brescia to Rome and back, which took place from 1927 to 1957. And today I want to talk about the edition which turned it into a legend, and about a man who ever since have been impressed in every Italian's heart and mind. Okay, it's 1948, the war ended 3 years ago, and the democratic governments of Italy are struggling to keep the country together. The reconstruction has already begun, and now we must look for something popular, for something entertaining, for something which can calm the spirits, okay? And sports are always the favorite means for this purpose. And therefore they were favored at the time by the government. And motorsports in 1948 are still very, very popular, and the Mille Miglia is still the most exciting car race. Already in 1947, the original route from Brescia to Rome and back has been modified due to the extensive damage suffered by the road network during the war. And so they had to change somewhat the route, and starting from Brescia, cars ran to Padua, then they turned south and they reached the Adriatic Sea, down to Fano. When in Fano they turn directly south, and they cross the Apennines here, and then they go to Rome. Then on a flat plain to Livorno, then inland to Florence, they cross the Apennines in Bologna, and then all the way across the plain until Turin, and then back to Brescia. And remember, the roads are always open to traffic. There is not a clear favorite for the race this year, because 4 brands are competing with all their strength: Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Ferrari, and Cisitalia. Alfa Romeo has built 2 experimental models in great secrecy: 2 racy 2,500cc sedans with a lightweight alloy aerodynamic body, which can exceed 200 km/h. Maserati runs with 4 2,000cc cars, open, low, very stable and agile. Its top driver is Alberto Ascari, who will become world champion in Formula One in 1950s. Ferrari brought to Brescia 3 166 sports sedans, which can exceed 200 km/h. Its top driver is Biondetti, but in the end, just 3 days before the start, on April 29th, it registers a 4th car. That day, a driver is wandering among the cars for testing. He has been resting for several months on Lake Garda, close to Brescia, and where his main activity has been walking with his wife. And that morning, however, Enzo Ferrari spots him among cars in Piazza Vittoria, Brescia, during official car tests before the start. And Ferrari does not hesitate. He takes him under his arm and says, Tazio, vieni con me a Maranello. Voglio che tu veda la mia macchina. Tazio, come with me to Maranello. I want you to see my car. Tazio is obviously Tazio Nuvolari, the legendary pilot. The two leave for Maranello, and here Ferrari shows him a red car. Tazio, perché non ne guidi una? Tazio, why don't you drive one? The great Tazio hesitates. His wife will be very angry, but he can't say no. the call of the road is too strong. At 55 years old, he will run the longest Mille Miglia, 1,800 kilometers, a superhuman challenge. In the 1930s, Nivola, as he is known among motorsports fans, had become very popular. Indeed, the most popular driver in the world. His driving style, which was described by Enzo Ferrari as a prodigy of instinct at the limits of human possibilities and physical laws, was inimitable. He turned by drifting, practically without ever taking his foot off the accelerator. On more than one occasion, he had raced without even using brakes, using only the gear to slow down. So Nivola easily adapted to the most diverse cars because he felt them with an animal instinct and soon entered into symbiosis with them. Okay, it's midnight on May 2nd, 1948. The first car starts. Behind it, 186 cars are queuing to start. A few minutes before 4 a.m., the first Alfa Romeo starts. Then at 4 a.m. sharp, Ascari's Maserati. At 4:13, here is the first Ferrari with Biondetti. And at 4:24, the crowd greets with a roar the departure of Nuvolari on the Ferrari Spider marked with the number 1049. In the Brescia-Padua section, Alberto Ascari averages 145 kilometers per hour at night. In Padua, he is first, followed by Cortese on Ferrari and Sanesi on Alfa Romeo. Nuvolari is sixth. From Padua, the race goes straight to Ravenna and on the Via Adriatica along the Po River. And just out of Ravenna, Romano's Alfa Romeo has an accident and overturns. Luckily, the drivers come out unharmed. In Forlì, then, the pilots leave Via Adriatica and get onto Via Emilia to Rimini and then Fano. Now the road, La Via Flaminia, becomes more winding. In Fossombrone here, the road enters a deep natural rift, 2 kilometers long, the Furlo Gorge, and suddenly behind the curve appears the Galleria del Furlo, the ancient tunnel built by the Roman Emperor Vespasian at the narrowest point of the gorge to give an easy passage to Via Flaminia. Then the climb to Passo della Scheggia, the natural watershed between the Adriatic Sea and the Tyrrhenian Sea of the Apennines. And on these roads, Nuvolari drives like no other. He is the master of the Apennine passes. The road continues to the south. So Nocera Umbra, Foligno, Trevi, Spoleto, then the ascent to Passo della Somma and down to Terni, and finally Rome. Nuvolari passes through the control of the capital at 10:13, 5 hours and 49 minutes after departure. And he is first on the hard Apennine passes, and on the nervous roads of Umbria, he overcame all competitors. And with an average of 126 kilometers per hour, he just broke the record of the previous year. His record, by far. The radio broadcasting the highlights of the race says, Nuvolari is first in Rome. Sanesi follows him on Alfa Romeo, and Ascari with his Maserati is fourth. Now, the control of Ponte Milvio, just outside Rome, the champion arrives at full speed and stops. The mechanics raise the hood and for a fast check of his Ferrari, and then close it, or rather they try to close it because the body does not want to return into its place. So Nuvolari gets off the car, he tries, there's nothing to do, time is running, you cannot wait. The champion opens the hood and detaches it from the car and throws it away. Let's go. So now the pilots take the Via Aurelia at top speed. In Cerveteri, Sanesi on Alfa Romeo, who is going very fast behind Nuvolari, runs off the road due to the explosion of a tire. The car flips over several times, and the condition of the two drivers immediately appears very serious. But they will be saved. Now with the incident of its second official car, Alfa Romeo is definitely out of the race. Tarquinia, Grosseto, Follonica, Livorno. In Livorno at 12:42, 8 hours and 18 minutes after the start, Nuvolari is still first at the spectacular average of 127 kilometers per hour. Behind him now is Ascari on Maserati with a delay of 20 minutes and Biondetti on Ferrari with 24 minutes. But the unexpected is just around the corner. Right after Livorno, Nivola is overtaking another competitor when suddenly, bang! Ending up against the rock face, the car turns 180 degrees. The right rear suspension is broken, the crossbow is damaged, the seat is displaced, and brakes are hardly working. The red car starts again, bruised more than ever, and Nuvolari has no intention to give up. From Pisa to Florence, the road runs flat in the Arno Valley. In Florence, shortly after 1:30 p.m., Nuvolari is still first with an average of 133 kilometers per hour. And his most immediate pursuer, Biondetti, is behind by 30 minutes. Ascari has retired just before Florence. He has been betrayed by the gear of his Maserati. Nuvolari is first in Florence, the radio announces to Italians. Now, here are the last two climbs. The Futa Pass and the Raticosa Pass. Nivola drives on the winding roads, gritting his teeth. In Bologna, amid the roar of the crowd, he is still first. Biondetti is behind with the second Ferrari with a gap of almost 30 minutes. Now from Bologna on the plane to Modena at full speed. No hood, no seat, no brakes, the battered frame, he just lost a fender, and it's starting to rain. Nuvolari is on an uncovered car. His opponent Biondetti instead runs protected in a comfortable sedan. Is it the replay of last year's Mille Miglia, when a storm between Asti and Alessandria took away his victory? In the end, the incredible adventure ends in Reggio Emilia. The radio announces, Nuvolari just retired close to Villa Ospizia, 1 kilometer from the city of Reggio Emilia, due to the complete break of the right rear suspension. Now, realizing that the car cannot move on, Nivola gets out of it. He does not curse against fate. He does not say a word. He's only exhausted. He asks where he can lay down, and they take him to the refectory of a church. Here he collapses. They lift him and lay him on the priest's bed. The Mille Miglia is over. Dai, lo farai ancora? un'altra volta, l'anno prossimo. Come on, you're going to do it again next year, says Enzo Ferrari, who ran to Villa Ospizio to see him. No, non ci sarà un'altra Mille Miglia per me. No, there won't be another 1,000 miles for me, Nivola answers by shaking his head. Sad. He couldn't win, but now the whole of Italy is talking about him, only about him. The race is almost finished. From Turin, Biondetti on Ferrari heads to Brescia at the fantastic speed of 160 kilometers per hour on average. The red Ferrari crosses the finish line in Brescia in 15 hours, 5 minutes and 44 seconds with an average of 121 kilometers per hour. It is Ferrari's first victory in the Mille Miglia. Here, the legend of the prancing horse begins. Tazio Nuvolari, meanwhile, is sleeping in the refectory of the church of Villa Ospizio. A truck brings the glorious Spider number 1049 back to Maranello, to Enzo Ferrari's house. The car is battered, it's in pieces, it looks like a wreck, but only bad luck managed to stop her and her tamer. Well, thank you very much for your attention. Please follow us on our Facebook and our YouTube channel, and I'll see you soon for other tales about Italy. Ciao ciao, ciao ciao, arrivederci, ciao.